Rebecca Lobo on ESPN's.
Just expose how talented, important, and how rare Caitlin Clark is on the court.
We know how much Caitlin drives ratings. We know how much Caitlin drives attention on the WNBA. And for her to come back and do it in that way was just ridiculous.
It just shows how special Caitlin Clark is. This is a legendary player.
Caitlin is different. She's a GOAT. The CC effect is back.
She's not just part of the moment, she is the moment.
Rebecca Lobo simply used one strong statement to end all the hate. What Caitlin Clark is doing, WNBA has never witnessed.
This lady just said she's been around this league since 1996. She has never seen this.
I have never seen that in a WNBA game.
Her star power and talent influence are self-evident.
Clark scored 32, dished out 9 assists to become the first player in WNBA history to have 100 points, 30 rebounds, 30 assists in a player's first 5 games of a season.
If you completely agree with Caitlin Clark, please leave a comment below right now.
Caitlin is the one.
No comparison to Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is the most watched basketball player in world basketball right now. There's nobody that does what Caitlin Clark does.
How special and rare Caitlin Clark is.
She's the biggest basketball star in the world, not named LeBron and Steph.
After seeing Caitlin Clark's comeback effort against the New York Liberty, Rebecca Lobo, who has been a member of the WNBA since almost the beginning, couldn't contain her excitement when she said on ESPN's First Take that she had never seen anything like Caitlin Clark.
And I'm sitting there at the end of the first quarter when she had that 38-second stretch where she drained deep three after deep three after deep three. I was just sitting there thinking, I've been around this league since 1997. I have never seen that in a WNBA game. Have we?
Caitlin returned to the floor after missing 19 days due to injury, and in only 38 seconds, she lit it up like no one has ever done. In the first quarter, she made 3 consecutive deep threes, each from more than 30 feet away. It wasn't just a hot hand, it was a message.
We've seen players go on runs, of course we have, but not like that. Not where a couple of the three-pointers are from 30-plus feet. It was an exhibition by her after being out for 19 days to recover from an injury.
Lobo explained sitting there in disbelief. I realized that in all the years I've been in this league since 1997, I have never witnessed that in a WNBA game from someone who has covered and played with luminaries like Diana Taurasi, Sue Birdmeyer and Lisa Leslie.
This is a player that's seen Cheryl Swoops. This is a player that's seen Cynthia Cooper. This is a player that has seen Lisa Leslie, Maya Moore. This is a player that has seen Diana Taurasi, Della Dunn. This is a player that has seen all the stars, fam, all of them, and still can sit here right now and say she's never seen anything like Caitlin Clark. Out of all those players, out of all those years, nobody has ever looked like Caitlin Clark.
However, Caitlin's performance exceeded expectations and went beyond anything those legends could have done. While the comparison to Steph Curry was inevitable, Lobo also pointed out that what sets Caitlin apart is her ability to shoot those bombs while sprinting forward at top speed, something that neither Steph nor Dame regularly does. Lobo added that this wasn't normal and that it wasn't just the distance of the shots, but also the fact that Caitlin was pulling up in full sprint, with no hesitation or slowing down, just pure confidence and ridiculous range.
Talking about Steph Curry, and you said he's the greatest shooter God ever created. On Saturday, Caitlin Clark certainly looked like that.
Her remarks provided historical context rather than flattering praise. Lobo described it as absurd.
For her to come back and do it in that way was just ridiculous.
A display and acknowledged that, although closely following this league, she had never seen anything comparable.
She shoots and makes shots from 36 feet. The effortless charisma, the awkward but honest interview, she grabs you without any gimmicks, captivates you without chasing clout.
That level of sincere admiration from a seasoned pundit and former player is more than simply a compliment to a mic drop. Rebecca Lobo explained why Caitlin Clark is already redefining the rules for success in the WNBA, rather than only, showcasing a few spectacular moments after taking over 3 weeks off due to injury. Let's discuss her return game in its entirety. Returning to the court, Caitlin Clark scored 32 points.
Caitlin Clark, even being out for those 3 weeks, did something on the basketball court that I've never seen a player do in the WNBA, and that was that stretch that you were just talking about, that 38-second stretch where she came down and hit not just 3 threes, but 3 bomb threes. And she did it in a first quarter where the New York Liberty had an 11-point lead, and Indiana needed her to come out and do that to kind of get back into the game. Her passing was on point, her scoring.
Hitting 7 out of 14 three-pointers and an incredible 55% from the field.
Caitlin Clark is the best long shooter ever created. There is nobody that can shoot from that distance like Caitlin Clark.
Not only did she have a strong rookie start, but she also recorded 9 assists, making her the first player in WNBA history to record 100 points, 30 rebounds, and 30 assists in the first 5 games of a season. Keep in mind that this wasn't a quiet, stat-padding performance, it was electric. She took the court against the Liberty, a top-tier team, and immediately changed the momentum with 3 30-foot bombs in the first quarter.
There's nobody else in this league. Yes, other players can go for 30. Yes, that's true.
Lobo went beyond the statistics to explain why Caitlin is unique. She pointed out that most elite shooters require space and rhythm. Caitlin can hit long-range threes while sprinting at full speed, which might not seem like a big deal until you realize even Steph Curry, the gold standard of shooting, typically requires a setup. That wasn't just a highlight reel, it was a warning shot to the league. She wasn't just back, she was better than ever. Lobo talked about how people still talk about Steph's historic game-winning shot from close to half-court versus OKC 10 years later, but Caitlin consistently makes shots like that. She's not imitating Curry, rather, she's improving her deep shooting technique.
Her gravity is different to even that of Curry. She doesn't have the off-the-ball gravity of Curry, but I've never seen a person sprint into those shots like Caitlin.
Because gravity is more important here than range. Lobo clarified that Caitlin's presence alters the way the defense plays because when she is on the court, defenders spread out further, giving her teammates more room. This kind of impact is uncommon even in men's games.
Caitlin Clark goes full speed straight and pulls up. She will pull up on full speed. There's nobody that does that.
People tend to forget that she is a genuine point guard rather than just a shooter because of her ability to collapse defenders while still throwing out dimes, which gives her the uncommon combination of exceptional scorer and elite facilitator.
She was the best guard in the league.
She writes plays as effortlessly as she completes them. Lobo even brought up the fact that Caitlin had already placed 4th in last year's MVP poll.
As a player, she finished last year 4th in MVP voting.
The jump from college to the pros is supposed to be difficult, but Caitlin makes it look easy. This isn't just because she's talented. It's also because her game is built on vision, pace, and basketball IQ that goes beyond raw skill. You can't deny what's in front of your face. She's breaking records, drawing the highest ratings, and she's currently the 2nd favorite this season, right behind Infisa Collier, which is practically unheard of for someone in her first full year in the league.
CC is carrying the entire league.
So in 2024, she averaged 16.5 points per game, 4 assists, 5.5 rebounds. She shot 37% from the field and 31.8% from 3. Now, if you look at her preseason in 2025, she only played 2 games in this preseason, and one was against that Brazilian national team. She played 21 minutes. She averaged 14.5 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. She shot 52.5% from the field and 50% from 3-point range.
When someone like Rebecca Lobo, who has witnessed practically every period of women's basketball, says that Caitlin Clark is accomplishing things we've never seen, you better know that's not hype. That's reality. She's attracting new fans and, more importantly, she's making the WNBA a must-watch sport.
Steph White took her out a little bit more, gave her a little bit more rest than we're accustomed to seeing from Caitlin Clark. She still played 30 minutes in the game, but that she had no rust, had a performance like that, and you could see the joy on her face, especially in that interaction you saw with Breanna Stewart about how happy she was to be back on.
The criticism starts to get serious at this point. The icy shoulders, the harsh penalties, and contemptuous interviews, everything that has been thrown at Caitlin Clark since she joined the WNBA is about jealousy, and whether they acknowledge it or not, jealousy has spread like wildfire throughout the league. However, Rebecca Lobo simply stepped in and called it what it is: undeniable greatness. In doing so, she dismantled any justifications that the envious players and coaches had attempted to use. Let's break it down. NBA veterans, coaches, and even some executives have acted as though Caitlin's fame somehow denigrates those who came before her, such as her selling out arenas, breaking records, and attracting millions of new fans.
There are millions of people that never cared about the WNBA at all that now care because Caitlin Clark is in the WNBA.
However, Lobo's remarks pulled back the curtain when someone who has been a part of the league since its inception remarks, "I've never seen anything like this."
WNBA regular season games mean a bit more, and I don't think we've seen something like this.
It is no longer feasible to act as though Caitlin is merely media hype. Having witnessed the greats, Rebecca Lisa Leslie Moore, Maya Diana Taurasi, Cynthia Cooper is swooped by Cheryl. She played in the same era as them and didn't merely watch their games.
How special and rare Caitlin Clark is. This is a player that's seen Cheryl swoops. This is a player that's seen Cynthia Cooper. This is a player that has seen Lisa Leslie, Maya Moore. This is a player that has seen Diana Taurasi, Della Dunn. This is a player that has seen all the stars, fam, all of them, and still can sit here right now and say she's never seen anything like Caitlin Clark. Out of all those players, out of all those years, nobody has ever looked like Caitlin Clark.
Nevertheless, Lobo got up and remarked, "This is different." After witnessing Caitlin drop 3 bombs from more than 30 feet away, lead the offense, and provide assists like a seasoned floor general, her voice matters because it is grounded in history, experience, and truth. And it is a fact that many WNBA gatekeepers aren't prepared to hear when the second transcript hits. The author states bluntly that they are burning this bridge pointlessly, and it is true that Caitlin didn't enter the league with ego or entitlement. Rather, she entered with results. However, some players and coaches chose to treat her like a threat rather than a teammate, pursuing her on the court, ignoring her off it, and spreading stories that gave the impression that she didn't belong. But why, since they knew what she stood for? People are afraid of change. Therefore, you would think that a league that was having trouble making money would welcome a player who was drawing more spectators, media attention, and ticket sales than anyone in recent memory.
WNBA rumors suggest Caitlin Clark will be among the first stars making $1 million annually. The most notable of which is, y'all already know who, the needle mover, Caitlin Clark.
So in 2024, she averaged 16.5 points per game, 4 assists, 5.5 rebounds. She shot 37% from the field and 31.8% from 3. Now, if you look at her preseason in 2025, she only played 2 games in this preseason, and one was against that Brazilian national team. She played 21 minutes. She averaged 14.5 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. She shot 52.5% from the field and 50% from 3-point range.
The WNBA needs more than just talent. It needs stars, moments, and someone who can inspire a young YouTube viewer to pick up a ball. It's like they're dumping gas on the money and lighting a match. Caitlin Clark is that person, but rather of. Supporting her, some in the league are working to cut her wings. The irony is that those who are resisting her the most gain the most from her presence when Caitlin performs.
Since Caitlin Clark got injured, WNBA ratings have dropped 55%. 55% ratings lost. When she left, she's back to season-high ratings. Here's Caitlin Clark after.
Products fly off the shelf. When she visits, she literally elevates everyone around her, whether they like her or not, making national headlines. Therefore, when Rebecca Lobo takes the mic and says, Caitlin isn't just special, she's one of. One, she's not just praising her, she's defending her place in the league, her value to the sport, and her right to shine. Let's not pretend the jealousy is subtle. It's out there in plain sight. Whether it's the constant media criticism, the refusal to give her proper credit, or the P.
It is undeniable that Caitlin Clark is the engine.
Caitlin Clark effect. There has been so much of an influx in attendance and jersey sales and viewership, all the things.
That's about star power, narrative, and likability.
Caitlin Clark comes into the WNBA, goes through college. She has panache. She has style.
Just have nothing but great things to say about who she is as a person. Just so welcoming and so warm as an individual that she can have a conversation with anybody. She's cut from the same cloth as me in that regard. You know, us Midwesterners, we tend to just, accept everybody with open arms. She was so kind to my family and everyone in the suite when she came to KC. So huge fans of Caitlin.
Rebecca Lobo's words were a turning point. She made it clear that you can either keep hating Caitlin Clark or you can realize that she isn't going anywhere. If the WNBA is smart, it will stop fighting the wave and start riding it because Caitlin isn't just the league's most exciting player, she is its future. Anyone who is still trying to bring her down isn't just jealous, they're on the wrong side of history.
We know how much Caitlin drives ratings. We know how much Caitlin drives attention on the WNBA. And for her to come back and do it in that way was just ridiculous.
If there was ever any question that envy is the primary cause of much of the criticism Caitlin Clark has received, just take a look at what Rebecca Lobo said. Lobo didn't merely provide praise. Instead, she made a clear distinction between greatness and resentment. Lobo's statement that she has never seen anything like this in her decades around the WNBA wasn't just admiration. It was a reality check. Her praise revealed the uncomfortable truth that Caitlin's talent is so undeniable that it's threatening to those who have never had this kind of spotlight. The issue isn't Caitlin, but rather the fragile egos being rattled by her presence. Praise like that isn't given to typical people. Rather, it's given when your performance challenges them to reconsider their assumptions about what's possible, which is precisely what's taking place. In addition to scoring points, Kane is changing the league's culture, smashing attendance records, attracting new supporters, and outperforming even seasoned veterans on the court. Let's face it, some players aren't able to handle it, which is why we're seeing cheap shots, cold interviews, and omissions from the media. They are responding to Caitlin's influence rather than her attitude.
The impact she has had both on and off the court in one season plus, it's certainly right up there. We were talking with our crew after the game. We got at least 10 more years of watching Caitlin in her absolute prime.
Instead of enjoying the fact that the game's biggest disruptor is a 22-year-old rookie, some in the league have decided to be resentful, which only serves to highlight Caitlin's superiority. Enough is enough, said Rebecca Lobo, a renowned figure who has played in every WNBA era. The fact that so many people won't acknowledge that Caitlin is just hyped and has earned everything and more speaks more about them than it does about her. The league's future is staring them in the face, and some are still attempting to shut her out rather than work with her. She made it clear that Clark's performance wasn't just exciting, it was historic. That kind of statement shatters every defense, downplay, and claim that Caitlin is just hyped.
Now, if y'all don't know who Rebecca Lobo is, Rebecca Lobo has been around the WNBA since close to its existence.
This lady just said she's been around this league since 1996. She has never seen this.
Rebecca Lobo is not going to change because let's be real, she is one of the best at what she does.
And it's so exciting. It's so fun to watch her. She's certainly the most exciting player, certainly the most fun player to watch in the league right now. And we're just going to see kind of her legacy continue to grow as she has more performances like we saw on Saturday. And again, time will show how long is it going to take her to get that Indiana Fever team to a WNBA champion.